Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day-per-week wisdom and legacy building podcast. This is day 698 of our trek, and time for our Philosophy Friday series. Each Friday, we will ponder some of the basic truths and mysteries of life and how they can impact us on creating our living legacy. We are focusing on how to live with less fear. We are exploring the trails on life's trek that will help us to be fearless. This does not imply that we'll reach a point where we are completely without any fear, for that is not only impossible, it is also not wise. There's a time and place for an appropriate level of fear, but most of the fears that we experience on a daily basis has no grounding and can be eliminated as we grow in wisdom, insight, and understanding. So our objective is to experience a FearLess Friday on our trek of life. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. I will still be in Arizona when this trek originally was released, wrapping up a week as we prepare for Phase 2 of our Mesa Townhome project. Certainly, large projects such as this brings a bit of concern, worry, and trepidation, which all boils down to fear. If we are not careful in situations like this, the fear can stifle us from making the progress that we need to for success. We need to learn to face fear and then keep on moving. Today on our trek, we will continue to explore how we need to be in a continual mind shift mode so that we can have the power to act in spite of fear. Most of us don't seem to realize or grasp that God has given us the spirit to do what is right even when it is fearful or difficult. When it's time to move forward, time to act on our convictions, time to utilize our God-given talents and abilities, the monster of fear can raise its ugly head, attempting to stifle us once again. Fear screams at our face, or whispers in our mind, that something bad will happen if we do move forward. Last Fearless Friday, we explored how your comfort zone actually gets smaller when fear tells you that you can't leave it or something bad will happen. This sort of fear is called timidity. Timidity can paralyze you to the point of inaction. This is what happened to the Israelites when they faced the Philistine army, which was led by the giant Goliath. When faced with Goliath in 1 Samuel 17, the Israelites hid behind rocks instead of accepting the giant's challenge. They were timid in the face of the enemy. What if they tried and failed? What if the giant demolished them? The enemy was so huge. How could they even hope to win? For 40 days, Goliath continued loudly proclaiming his challenge. For 40 days, the Israelites trembled in fear, including King Saul. The Israelites forgot who brought them out of Egypt and destroyed Pharaoh. The Israelites forgot their many victories they had conquering the Promised Land. They forgot the promises that David later penned in Psalms 18:2. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my Savior. My God is my rock, in whom I find protection. He is my shield, the power that saves me, and my place of safety. When David, the youngest member of the family, and in everyone's eye was kind of a runt, came out to the battlefield, he heard the Philistines' proposition. His mind was steadfast on what to do. David knew who was in control, and it wasn't himself, as he proclaimed in 1 Samuel 17, verse 25. Who is this pagan Philistine anyway, that he is allowed to defy the armies of the living God? David immediately understood that this Philistine wasn't just defying the army of the people, but God himself. David's faith instantly became a model for others. God presented a giant problem in Goliath that was too big for the Israelites to handle on their own. It was too big for their strongest and most capable warrior to even dream of handling. Then God solved the problem with the simple faith of a young shepherd boy. How could this boy possibly defeat this taunting giant? So even though David declared that he'd do it, King Saul was right in line with the other naysayers, letting David know that it was impossible. Although David likely experienced a great amount of fear, he did not doubt. His faith in God was greater than the fear of the giant Goliath. In the same manner, when you are facing small or giant fears and are on the cusp of breaking free from your comfort zone, fear will become your greatest naysayer. It will remind you of all your weaknesses and all the reasons why you can't move forward. It will come in your comfort zone and tell you how scary life is on the outside if you do attempt to break free. The choice is always yours. Do you listen to the naysayers or go back to tending sheep in the field? Do you listen to the naysayers and go back to tending sheep in the field? Or do you trust in God and believe that He will support you in slaying your giants? Nelson Mandela put it this way: I learned that courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers fear. As a believer, you have to understand that fear is not a sin. It is our own body's natural response to the unknown, that area outside your comfort zone. But God does expect us to trust Him in spite of that fear. Psalms chapter 56, verse 3, "But when I am afraid, I will put my trust in you." Through trusting in God, we can overcome the spirit of fear, feel the power of God, learn to love Him, and have the self-discipline to move forward in the face of fear, as it says in 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline. His great grace is shown to us and given to us in times of trouble. In order to break free of the shackles of your jail cell of fear that binds you, you need to step outside your comfort zone and let God lead you to greater heights. He will give us the strength that we need for each day. As the Apostle Paul wrote as he was battling fears, these truths that Jesus spoke to him in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9. Each time he said, "My grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness. So I am glad to boast about my weakness, so that the power of Christ can work through me." Next Fearless Friday, we will explore the power to overcome fear. I know that you'll find these insights interesting and profitable in living a rich and satisfying life. Our next track will be Mindshift Monday, where we will help you to live differently by thinking differently. So encourage your friends and family to join us, and then come along with us on Monday for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. If you'd like to listen to any of the past daily treks or read their associated journals, they are all available at wisdom-trek.com. You can also subscribe to iTunes or Google Play so that each day's trek is downloaded to you automatically. And thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and then leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you on Monday.